welcome to video 2 of a 2-part series. In the first video, we talked about 3 things a woman needs from her man. This is video 2, where we're going to talk about 3 things a man needs from his woman. Hello, I'm Melissa Daggett, and I am a certified life coach, financial advisor, most importantly, lover of great relationships. If you're on our app, 3-Way Fit, I'm so glad you're here with us. We teach people how to get fit 3 ways, and you already know if you've joined the app, we teach you to get fit in your physical health, in your relationships, and in your finances. If you're on YouTube, I hope that you'll look at the rest of our videos and maybe even consider joining our app. But click on that like button if you like what you see, and subscribe if you'd like to get future notifications. Click that little bell. Okay, so let's get going. Let's get right into it. Let's dive right in. I know you women are dying to hear what are the 3 things a man needs from his woman, okay? Or maybe you're not, but I've been studying this for the last 2 decades. I've read lots of books. I've interviewed lots of people, and I tried to just narrow it down to the top 3 general. Within this, everybody can be different. I realize that we don't want to pigeonhole anyone, and the most important thing, as you guys know, I believe, is that you communicate your needs to each other, that you talk about what you really need, okay? But I am going to be sharing with you now the top 3 broad areas that all men pretty much say they need, and then you can get into more specifics with your partner. So number 1 is respect. Respect is a lot of different things, okay? So I'm going to go a little deep here. Respect who he is, but also respect what he does. And those are 2 different things, and he really needs both of them. He needs you to respect who he is. If you don't look up to him, he needs to know that you admire him without you making a big deal about it, okay? So if you don't admire your guy, if you don't respect him, you probably shouldn't even be with him. So it needs to be somebody that you really respect, his character, who he is, his nature. Just, that's really important. But also to respect what he does and not be in competition with what he does. And I'll talk a little bit about how that's tied to number 2 in a minute. But that you really respect it. You respect what he's building. And you're somebody who could even see yourself supporting, come alongside, and building it with him. Men, they're in different phases and stages when we meet them, and I'm going to talk about that too, but, a lot of them are trying to become a certain type of man, and he needs to know that his woman really respects who he's trying to become, who he already is, that who he is enough, but that she also, respects what he's trying to do to make his mark on the world. And also that you respect who he is as your partner, as a lover, as a dad, whatever roles he wears, whatever hats he wears, that you respect it. And how do you do this? Other than telling him, right? Which, we can tell him, but we're not going to make a huge deal every day, because then it's going to be like, is this sincere or genuine? You can show him through your actions most importantly, also your words, but more importantly, what you don't say too, because we women, we tend to forget how much he needs this, and sometimes we think we're helping and we're not really helping, and we're actually disrespecting him, and sometimes even emasculating him without realizing it. And that's why I'm sharing these videos, because I don't think you do it on purpose, and I know I didn't, and I had to learn a lot of these things myself through being in relationships and long term. So a lot of times we're just trying to get things done as women, and we will criticize him or nitpick or nag, right? We know this is true, and we don't mean to do it, but we just have this list, and we just want him, honey-do list, and it's okay. I mean, you definitely should have standards for the relationship and standards of behavior, and he should help you and be a great partner and all that. But it's the way we're saying it sometimes that comes across that we don't respect him, or we don't think he's doing enough, or, we think we can do it better. And we're not really letting him be a man that he is. We are always complaining about what he's not doing rather than appreciating him for what he is doing. So appreciation and respect are kind of tied together, because when you truly appreciate someone, who they are, what they're doing, you're going to show that through respect. So those could kind of be used interchangeably. But a man really needs that. He needs to be appreciated for who he is, for what he does. And how you do that, women, don't criticize, don't nag, don't belittle, don't try to do things for him. Just be his cheerleader. Just be his biggest cheerleader, You picked the guy for a reason, And I think what happens is our relationship goes through different phases and stages, we start to take them for granted too. You know, we complain that they take us for granted, that they stop looking at us, that they stop noticing us. But have you stopped respecting him? Because you don't want somebody else giving him that respect and appreciation. You want to be his cheerleader. You want to notice who he is and what he does and give him a chance, you know. And then if you feel like he's disrespecting you a lot, then you guys need to sit down and have a conversation about what respect looks like to each one of you. But you all know the foundation of all great relationships is what? Trust and respect, right? Trust and respect, and love. You know, love's part of that. That's how you show love. You know, you show love through respect. So you show it many different ways, but that's important to a man. Okay, let's go to number 2. Support. A man needs support, and a synonym for this would be acceptance, okay? It's a little different from respect and appreciation. So support is more like understanding, okay? Understanding how he's wired uniquely. And this is where you can allow men to be who they are uniquely and not pigeonhole them like every other man. You want to understand a couple of things. Number one, where he's at in his manhood journey. Because most men, you know, they're on an adventure with their life. They have conquests to fulfill. They're not always going to be daring and adventurous, all of them, but what I mean by that is they all have kind of a life mission or purpose that they're trying to find. They're trying to find their place in the world. And he needs to know you support that and you understand it, that you get him, that you get what's important to him, that you get his life mission, that you get his vision. And if he doesn't have one yet, he's probably not ready for a relationship yet. I'm just going to guess. Maybe he is. Maybe he needs someone who will find that with him, and while he's struggling, help him find. But most of the time, they need to find it themselves first before they're ready for a relationship. So sometimes you'll meet a guy at the wrong time, you know, wrong timing. He hasn't found it yet. He's still struggling to find it, and he's not ready for a relationship yet. And you feel so rejected and hurt, but really timing is everything. And a lot of men don't find this till they're like early or mid-30s, you know, and their 20s are years of just discovering themselves. So understanding where he is in the manhood journey, if he's already sort of established and he's already into his career, then he's usually more ready for a relationship. But even having said that, you need to understand where he's at in that career. Has he just started a new career? Is he building it? Has he built it to a certain point? Is he thriving? Is he at the top of it? This is all going to affect your relationship, and you need to understand where he's at so you can support it, and he needs to support you as well. So you're a team, right? And there's different ways you can show that support. Sometimes you'll do a business and build a business together. You'll build a dream together. My boyfriend and I are doing that. We just started a new business and we're building our dream together. And it just so happened we're passionate about the same things. If you're not, it doesn't matter. You can still support him by being loving, by being understanding. And then, you know, I think most women don't have a problem supporting their man if he puts a priority on the relationship. The problem, the balance in this is that a man needs to understand that if you give a woman the emotional security and the security of the relationship that she needs, meaning she has no doubt that you prioritize the relationship above everything else, including your job and your business. Because if you're making a mistress of your business, meaning you're putting it ahead of her, then you don't need to be in a relationship, really. You know, you're not ready. Because it's good to have something you're building, but if you can't bring her alongside of you and you can't put her as a priority and you're married to your business day and night and you never have time to invest in the relationship and in her, then your business is your mistress, and you know, then she has a right to not support it, and she probably should find somebody who has time for a relationship. But if you're in a relationship and you're building your business and you're doing great in your career and she supports it, as long as you guys make your relationship a priority and you're doing life together and you're supporting each other, there should be no problem with that. You're each other's biggest cheerleader. You want each other to succeed, and you have security that the relationship is a win and that his success is your success and vice versa. It's only when one partner feels left out or neglected that this is a problem usually. So there's two sides to this, but that's what a man needs. He needs your support and he needs acceptance, and he also needs you to accept him for who he is, and it needs to be enough. So let's say you're more ambitious than him and you're a career-driven woman and he's content to be, you know, a stay-at-home dad and just, you know, teaching or whatever. It doesn't matter. Whatever his life dream is, success is defined in many, many different ways. It's not just how much money you make. Success is that you're doing what you love to do and you're doing it well and you're making a difference and an impact. So that's going to look different for different people. So whoever he is, you need to be able to accept it and support it and say it's enough and it's great, and honor it and respect what he's doing in the world. Okay, number 3. I'm going to use the same statement I used before, only in reverse, in the What a Woman Needs from a Man video. Okay, so here it is. Blank is to a man what romance is to a woman. Yeah, you guys guessed it already. Gave it away. If you watched video 1, you already know. It's sex, right? Yeah, across the board, right? They think about it all the time. They need it. But I'm going to dive in here and just challenge you a little bit to think a little differently about it. I'm going to challenge both the women and the men actually in this video, because I already talked a little bit in the video to the women, in the video about the women, what the woman needs. And I talked a little bit about sex and how a woman needs to feel that you love her mind and her soul and her heart, that you see her, that you study her, and that this will actually turn her on and turn her on to you in physical ways as well. So if you're not doing that and you feel like, because really the sex life is just a barometer of the rest of the relationship. So if your sex life isn't good, you may want to take a look at some of the other areas that I've spoken about, and you may see it improve. If there's physical problems, then you need to see a therapist or something. But, emotional is so big. And so for a man, he really needs it. He really needs it. Different men have different, depending on their age and their sex drive. But it's important. And he needs a woman to be that sexual, sensual, the way that only women can be. That men don't have that power of femininity and that power to just really be fully woman. I mean, gosh, to be fully woman is to be powerful. I never understood why women wanted to be more like men and thought that we were inferior, because we're not. We're just different. We're powerful in our own way. And when you don't try to compete with a man and you don't try to be like him, you're in the essence of your femininity. So I think even the definition of feminism is skewed because it doesn't make sense to me. Because to be fully feminine, you shouldn't even want to compete with a man or be anything like him. You'd be fully you, right? And when you're fully you, he appreciates that and he loves that and he needs you and he wants you. But again, if a woman feels that security, that emotional security from you, and she feels loved and she feels seen, she's going to open up more. So women, if you want to be more attractive, by the way, a lot of women misrepresent men today and think they're all shallow and they're all players and they just want somebody younger and they want to trade you in for a younger model. And yeah, there's some of those shallow playboys that do that, but I've talked to a lot of great men. I've actually interviewed hundreds of men over the past few years while I was dating again, when I was single again after I lost my husband. And I'm going to tell you, even though looks matter and they want you to be attractive and, visually and sexually, sensually, they want you to be fully woman, but what they like most is not so much about the outer. It's more about the inner. It's about the aura. It's about your presence. It's about your confidence. It's about your mind. And your heart, by the way. A lot of them want a sweet woman. They want a woman with a good heart. So if you just are working on all the shallow aspects of your outer appearance, but you suck on the inside, meaning you never work on your mind, you're stupid, they will tell you you'll last about 2 dates with them and then they're bored. They want a woman who's intelligent, who works on her mind. You need to be three-dimensional. If you're just counting on your looks, those are going to fade. Yes, take care of yourself, take care of your looks, but have something more to offer if you want a great man. If you want a three-dimensional man, if you want a man, a king, you have to be a queen. And to be a queen, that means you're powerful. You own who you are. You work on yourself. You work on your mind, your body, and your heart, your spirit. You try to be a woman of good character. Why would you deserve a man of good character if you're not a woman of good character? If you're not trustworthy, if you're just a biatch to other women and you're always trying to undermine them and, you're not a nice person, you're a nasty person, you're going to get what you are, not what you want. Why would you attract a man that was a king, that was a good-hearted man? Why would you attract someone that's going to be really good? No, you're going to attract somebody who's also nasty like that and gossipy or whatever. So you get what you are. So work on yourself. Women, be interesting. Be multidimensional. Okay? And now let's go back to the man. So the man needs sex. So when you're attractive in all those areas, man, you're a triple threat, three-way threat, right? Triple threat. I think infidelity is going to be a tough one for him to even want to look at anyone else. If you are working on yourself in all those ways and you guys have a great relationship, he's not going to even want anybody else, because that's so hard to find and replace when you have all of those three things and you're supporting him, you're affirming him, you're respecting him, and you're working on yourself in that way. Man, you know, he should be worried that somebody's going to come snatch you up. So a man needs that challenge, by the way. We need security, but they need challenge. I need challenge too a little bit, but I don't, if somebody stops paying attention to me and giving me if they just throw me breadcrumbs and they're not giving me what I feel is a investment more than breadcrumbs. If somebody is not paying attention to me, I move on. So we women, we don't need that uncertainty, and we will move on if we feel like somebody's making us feel anxious or insecure and they're not worthy of our time. But men are a little different. They need some mystery and they need some challenge. So what I mean by that, and some, everybody's different. Some men don't need that as much as others. But what I mean is, stay on your A game. Make him work for you. Don't just give everything easily. When I was dating again, I was like very picky and selective, and I had some things, be somebody who has standards and make him rise to those. And then he's going to want you even more. And then your sex life is going to have that tension in it. It's going to be great. Update your wardrobe, be fun. Don't always take yourself so seriously. If you guys watched my video on the 8 types of love, I really dug into that one on being fun. You can learn to be playful at any stage, no matter how long you've been with somebody. Insert playfulness into the relationship. It immediately spices things up. And I'm not talking about, some people say, oh, Eros doesn't last forever, the romantic love, the sexual love. It dies, it fades after a while. Only if you let it. You can be playful and get in touch with your inner child at any time, and, stop taking yourself so seriously. Stop taking everything so seriously and just have fun and flirt like you did in the beginning days, where you just felt giddy, but yeah, spice things up, try different things. Don't always do things the same way. Just like in romance, we women don't want you to do the same things all the time. The guy doesn't want you to do the same things in the bedroom all the time. Study on it. Be a student of that. That's part of your homework, right? And talk to each other, because everybody wants different things and likes different things. So don't be weird about it. Just talk to each other and get intimate and communicate about it. And communicate about everything, including how much, how often. If you're dating someone and once you're in a committed relationship, it's very important to know if you match in this area, because some people don't match in this area. And it's really important that you have similar, makeups in this area, okay? So that, what I mean by that is like how often you need it, want it, and just, I know this video isn't for kids, but this is important to talk about. Okay, because it's very high up there for men and for most women, by the way. It's right up there with romance. So I have a little fun thing I'm going to tell you that I feel like is a good word picture for this. Every woman, if you want to be three-dimensional, every woman has a Marilyn, an Audrey, and hopefully a Mother Teresa inside of her, although all of them don't have that. And the reason they don't all have that is they don't work on their spiritual side. But if you do, you have a little Mother Teresa in you. What do I mean by that? I mean, every woman can get in touch with her inner seductress, her Marilyn. Every woman is sexy and beautiful in her own way, in her own unique way. So get in touch with your Marilyn. You want to be a Marilyn in the bedroom, right? And an Audrey when he takes you out. You want to be that classy woman that he's proud to have on his arm. Be classy. Don't just be sensual and sexy and not have any refinement. Work on your mind, work on your intelligence, work on your class. Be that Audrey. But then also be that Mother Teresa that loves others, and that you're not just all about yourself, and that you're not a selfish person, not a gossipy person, but you're somebody who truly is loving and has good character. If so, you will be a triple threat, a three-way fit woman, and your man's going to find you irresistible. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. Leave comments in the comment section. Leave a like if you liked it. And I will see you guys in the next video.